Well, one of the things I think is it was a civilization that used psychedelics. I think it was a civilization that emerged from shamanism, but did not stay at the hunter-gatherer stage.
Deep in the rugged mountains of the North Caucasus lies a vertical shaft so strange it has baffled experts for over a decade. Imagine descending into a chamber where walls of massive, perfectly shaped stone blocks rise higher than 10-story buildings. Yet no one knows who built it or why. Could this be the lost work of an advanced prehistoric civilization? Or is it a natural formation unlike anything science has ever documented? The truth is so unsettling that it continues to haunt researchers and fuels a mystery that refuses to be solved. The mysterious shaft, discovered. In the remote and rugged mountains of Russia's North Caucasus lies a vertical shaft, unlike any natural cave system known to science. Discovered near Kara-Hora mountain peak in Kabardino-Balkaria, this opening captured immediate attention for its unusually straight edges and unnervingly perfect vertical descent. Unlike typical cave entrances, which tend to be jagged and irregular, the shaft appeared sharp and deliberate, almost as if cut by human hands. Early explorers quickly realized that what seemed like a simple geological anomaly was something far stranger, sparking curiosity and confusion alike. The shaft plunges downward nearly 130 feet, the depth roughly equivalent to a 12-story building. Explorers noted that the walls were smooth, flat, and featured planes of stone arranged in parallel lines. These polished surfaces contrasted starkly with the rough, random shapes commonly found in nature's caves. Instead of cracks and curves shaped by water or erosion, the walls rose straight and unforgiving, framed by massive stone slabs perfectly aligned. This unnatural geometry was the first hint that the shaft might not be a simple natural formation. The descent itself was no small feat, only a narrow vertical passage. It forced climbers to lower themselves inch by inch using ropes and harnesses. The danger was constant. One slip could prove fatal. Yet, despite the risk, those who ventured inside reported feeling a growing sense of stepping into something ancient and deliberately constructed, rather than simply stumbled upon. The confined space amplified the ominous atmosphere, as light from headlamps showed precision-crafted stone blocks stretching high above, beyond what many had expected to find in such a remote location. As explorers reached the bottom, the shaft suddenly opened into a massive underground chamber. It was here that the scale became truly staggering. The ceiling soared nearly 120 feet overhead, far larger than typical cave halls. The walls were formed by enormous rectangular blocks, some weighing upwards of 200 tons, fitted with joints so tight that no gaps could be seen. In places, the blocks stood like pillars, suggesting an architectural design intended to support enormous weight. This discovery elevated the shaft from a mere curiosity to a potentially monumental ancient structure. What made this place even more perplexing was the absence of typical cave floor features like natural debris or uneven formations. Instead, everything was smooth, meticulously squared and sharp-edged. Narrow corridors branched off, but these were so tight and uniform they looked more like tunnels carved for a specific purpose rather than random natural faults. The geometry of the entire space hinted not at chance, but at intention, a signature of human craftsmanship or an unknown geological process. Yet despite these mind-bending findings, no clear evidence was found to explain who built the shaft or why. There were no artifacts, no tools, no markings of typical human activity, like pottery shards or torch remnants. The silence of these clues only deepened the enigma. This absence of ordinary archaeological traces meant that the shaft either belonged to a civilization far earlier and stranger than currently understood, or represented a geological phenomenon yet unnamed by science. As news of the discovery spread, debates erupted in both scientific and enthusiast communities. Was this a lost chapter of human history? Or was nature playing a trick our knowledge could not explain?
Brought together the best of everything that they'd accumulated and created it in one place.
The shaft resisted categorization. hovering between possibilities that challenged existing academic frameworks. While initial reports focused on the physical descent, the real questions loomed large. What does this structure represent, and what implications does it hold? This blend of incredible geological anomaly and potential human engineering set the stage for a deeper investigation. The mystery of the shaft captured imaginations, but the truth remained elusive, cloaked in the shadows beneath the mountain. Only by looking further into the rich history and cultural context of the region could one begin to approach an answer. The more they descended, the more it seemed that beneath the surface lay not just stone and shadow, but untold secrets echoing through time. And those secrets would lead beyond geology into the heart of ancient legends. Legends of the Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasus Mountains, home to the Kabardino-Balkaria region, have long been threaded with stories as wild and rugged as the landscape itself. For generations, local peoples have passed down tales of hidden underground cities, labyrinthine tunnels, and secret refuges carved beneath the earth. These legends speak of entire communities living below the surface, possibly to escape invading forces or to preserve knowledge lost to time. Such stories, often exchanged around fires, hint at a subterranean world that remains tantalizingly out of reach. These folk tales describe strange stone passages that defy natural explanation, smooth, straight corridors framed by blocks too regular to be mere chance. Locals referred to shafts and caves that seemed almost unnatural, deep holes that stretched straight down into darkness. While many dismissed these as myth or superstition, some believed the stories contained fragments of forgotten truth. They imagined ancient builders with advanced tools, creating passages that modern science would struggle to replicate. The region's ethnic diversity added to the richness of these myths. Different groups, speaking varied languages and nurturing distinct traditions, all harbored tales of the underground. These narratives preserved a shared sense of mystery surrounding the mountains, blending historical memory with the imagination. The mountains themselves stood as guardians of secrets too old for written records. As such, the underground lore formed a parallel history, one transmitted orally rather than by stone or script. When explorers began modern geological surveys in the 20th century, they could not ignore these persistent local rumors. Soviet expeditions mapped the Caucasus extensively, searching for natural resources like oil and minerals, yet large tracts remained unexplored and poorly understood. The stories of unnatural shafts and carved blocks continued to circulate among villagers and mountaineers, fueling curiosity in the face of official silence. These legends became a beacon for researchers who believed the mountains held more than just mineral wealth. Some of the myths tied directly into the belief in lost civilizations.
Area is the outcome of contact with an earlier, largely lost civilization.
Civilizations that predated known ancient cultures. The notion of underground cities was not unique to the Caucasus. Similar legends exist worldwide, but here they were rooted in tangible features of the landscape. Descriptions of stone blocks and regular shafts intriguingly mirrored the real vertical passage found later. This overlap between story and physical evidence blurred the line between fantasy and reality, inviting speculation about the shaft's true nature. The oral histories preserved stories of invaders, hidden sanctuaries, and technologies lost to time, all woven into the fabric of the region's identity. Certain narratives even hinted at the idea of sacred sites or places of power beneath the mountains, where ancient knowledge or energy might be stored. These ideas, while mystical, surfaced repeatedly in local accounts, raising questions about the role the shaft might play beyond mere architecture. For researchers drawn by these tales, folklore was not mere amusement, it was a potential guide. Some believed that within these old legends lay clues that could unlock the shaft's secrets, pointing scientists where to look or what to expect. The intertwining of myth and stone created an atmosphere charged with mystery, inviting a closer look, but also caution. After all, if these stories were true, They meant the shaft was more than just a geological wonder. Yet, the mountains kept their secrets well. Despite years of passing down these tales, no definitive proof of underground cities or systematic construction had emerged. This gap between legend and hard evidence only made the shaft's discovery more compelling. It was as if the shaft itself was the living heart of all those whispered stories, demanding new exploration into both history and imagination. And amid these tales of ancient passages, modern explorers found another layer of mystery, history's darker chapters, where war and obsession converged amidst the peaks. Early exploration and wartime connections. Interest in the Kara Hora shaft gained momentum in the early 21st century, thanks in large part to Artur Zhemukov, a Russian speleologist known for exploring dangerous and remote caves. Unlike some scientists who focused solely on maps and technical surveys, Zhemukov placed great trust in local legends and wartime records, combining folklore with historical documents to guide his expeditions. His determination led him to Kara Hora Mountain in 2011, drawn by stories of a tall, vertical passage fitting the very description of the mysterious shaft. Zhemukov was not unaware of the area's complex history. Documents from World War II hinted that German soldiers had taken an unusual interest in the Caucasus region during their 1942 campaign, with some records suggesting they targeted strategic locations far beyond conventional military objectives. These historical clues deepened the intrigue surrounding the shaft's location, raising the possibility that it held significance even in modern times. When Zhemukov and his team reached the shaft, their findings aligned strikingly with both the legends and the wartime whispers. The vertical opening matched precisely the descriptions shared by locals and historical accounts, as if the mysteries of folklore and recorded events converged at this exact point. His expedition confirmed for the first time the shaft's existence as an extraordinary physical site, not a mere story. Beyond Zhemukov, whispers of the shaft attracted various researchers and explorers. One prominent figure was Vadim Chernobrov, founder of the Kosmopoloisk organization, which investigates unusual phenomena across Russia. Chernobrov's team made additional expeditions into the shaft, capturing photographs showing symmetrical stone blocks and polished surfaces. These images reignited global curiosity and positioned the shaft as one of the most puzzling enigmas of the modern era. The wartime aspect added a chilling dimension. During the 1930s and 1940s, key Nazi officials like Heinrich Himmler were deeply invested in occult and esoteric quests, seeking ancient knowledge and mystical artifacts. The Caucasus, rich in myths and remote enough to conceal secrets, may have drawn German expeditions pursuing these objectives alongside their military goals. Carvings resembling swastikas found near the shaft further tied the site to these dark wartime histories, blurring the lines between military campaigns and occult exploration. This convergence of science, legend, and wartime intrigue painted a complex picture. The shaft was not just an archaeological or geological curiosity, but a place layered with stories of past conflicts and secret obsessions. Even with newfound physical evidence, the reasons behind German interest remained speculative, fueling theories that ranged from strategic resource control to esoteric research. Despite the excitement, exploration was far from easy. The shaft's narrow entrance, extreme depth, and precarious vertical drop presented serious risks. Teams had to rely on ropes and climbing gear to navigate the tight stone walls, requiring both expertise and bravery. The dangers underscored that this mystery was as much about physical endurance as intellectual inquiry. Yet for those drawn to uncovering the truth, the risks seemed secondary to the possibility of unlocking a secret that could rewrite history. The connection between ancient stonework and 20th century war efforts suggested the shaft was a nexus where different eras and ambitions collided in darkness. From these depths, where myth, history, and human ambition intertwine, the mystery only deepened, pointing toward the astonishing features hidden further inside the mountain. the astonishing geometry inside. At the bottom of the shaft, explorers found themselves in a vast underground chamber unlike anything they had ever seen. The ceiling towered nearly 120 feet above, dwarfing even large natural caves. But the most striking feature was the composition of the walls, lined with enormous rectangular stone blocks, some estimated to weigh over 200 tons. These blocks fit together with remarkable precision, with joints so tight that in many places there was scarcely any visible gap. The smoothness and flatness of each stone face added to the uncanny impression that this was not a natural formation. Unlike conventional caves shaped by water erosion or tectonic forces, the walls displayed straight lines and perfect right angles. Shining in the glow of headlamps, the stones cast long, clean shadows that emphasized their sharp geometric edges. It was almost as if the chamber had been carved and assembled by skilled hands, contradicting what geologists expected to find underground.
Oh, there's some formations. No way. There is, in fact, some cool formations.
Some of the stones were positioned like columns, rising vertically and seeming to support the massive ceiling above. Narrow side passages extended outward from the main hall, but were so tight and sharply angled that navigating them required special effort. These corridors retained the same polished surfaces and flawless joins, suggesting a design with purpose rather than random fracture. The overall geometry spoke of order and intention, setting this chamber apart from any natural cavern. Despite the beauty and scale, the chamber was eerily silent and sealed off from the outside world. There was no natural light, little airflow, and only one narrow exit through the shaft. Its isolation added to the mystery, as if it was meant to remain hidden or protected. The sheer scale and perfection of the stone blocks demanded technologies and construction methods beyond what we associate with prehistoric cultures. The explorers faced constant risk. The vertical shaft had taken them more than an hour to descend, relying on ropes that groaned under their weight. Any mistake could easily result in a deadly fall. Yet the danger did not diminish their awe. If anything, it heightened their sense of discovery. They stood in a space that felt monumental, a place that challenged the very definitions of natural and man-made. Scientists typically recognize natural cave formation by irregular, uneven walls shaped by erosion or volcanic activity. But here, everything was unnaturally straight and smooth, implying an artificial origin or an unknown geological process. The precision of the stone joints rivaled famous ancient constructions, raising immediate questions about how and when this chamber was created. Each detail seemed to defy conventional explanations. Photographs and reports from explorers spurred comparisons to well-known megalithic sites like the Great Pyramid of Giza. The similarity in the size and fitting of stone blocks was especially striking. Yet, unlike pyramids, which have been extensively studied and dated, this chamber remained untouched by systematic research. Its mysterious craftsmanship offered no clues about the builders or the techniques employed. Adding to the intrigue were tool marks, visible on some stone surfaces in photographs taken by later expeditions. These traces suggested deliberate cutting and shaping, lending weight to the argument for artificial construction. Still, skeptics argued that unusual geological processes might produce similar features, keeping the debate alive. The chamber's geometry was, without a doubt, the heart of the enigma, an astonishing puzzle that both inspired and unsettled. The presence of such a carefully structured underground hall not only questions the origin of the shaft itself, but also demands an examination of broader possibilities about ancient engineering and hidden histories. It invites us to reconsider what might be possible when the limits of known technology and natural science meet in the depths of the Earth. There is a weight to this discovery beyond the physical, an echo through time that connects to larger mysteries waiting just beyond the shadows. Transitioning from the sheer wonder of the chamber's construction, we glimpse into the many theories that try to make sense of its purpose and origin, each as captivating as the structure itself. Theories on purpose and origin. The unique features of the Kara Hora shaft have sparked intense speculation about its true nature and origins. One group of theorists proposes that the shaft was built by an advanced prehistoric civilization, thousands of years before well-known historical cultures like Egypt or Mesopotamia. The sheer size of the stones, some over 200 tons, and their precise fitting suggest capabilities far beyond what conventional archaeology expects from that era. If true, this theory would dramatically rewrite our understanding of human technological development. Others suggest that the shaft might have been part of a vast, now lost underground complex. Some speculate it functioned as a ventilation shaft or an architectural element in a larger network of subterranean structures. This idea fits with folklore, speaking of hidden underground cities where entire communities could have lived or taken refuge during times of invasion or turmoil. Such a complex might explain the scale and precision, hinting at a purpose both practical and symbolic. More unconventional theories imagine the shaft as a kind of resonator or energy channel. Some hypothesize that it might have harnessed geological forces, channeling energy in ways not yet understood by modern science. Others propose it was the foundation of a massive pyramid, long since collapsed or buried, making the shaft the last visible remnant of an ancient monument.
Mainstream scientists believe the site was originally constructed about 2,000 years ago.
These ideas, while speculative, attempt to address the structure's extraordinary design, which natural geology cannot easily explain. On the scientific side, there remains the possibility that the shaft is a natural formation, a yet undocumented geological anomaly. While known cave systems form through water erosion, tectonic shifts, or volcanic activity, none are known to create such perfectly rectangular walls and massive fitted blocks. Even formations like basalt columns, which display some geometric qualities, are neither polished nor assembled like the stones at Kara Hora. If natural, this shaft could represent a groundbreaking addition to geology, challenging current models of Earth's processes. This tension between artificial and natural explanations unsettles scientists because both possibilities carry radical implications. If artificial, it demands recognition of a lost prehistoric civilization with sophisticated engineering skills. If natural, it forces geology to confront phenomena it has never encountered, revealing unknown forces shaping the Earth's crust. In either case, long-held assumptions in multiple scientific fields would require reconsideration. Adding to the mystery, no widely accepted archaeological evidence has surfaced to provide context. Typically, ancient structures come with artifacts, tools, pottery, remnants of daily life that help explain their creators and use. Yet the Kara Hora shaft lacks such proofs. This absence suggests the site may have served a non-residential, possibly technological, or ceremonial function, hidden from usual archaeological footprints. Theories must account for this silence as much as the physical evidence. Historical events add further complexity, particularly the wartime interest from German forces during World War II. Speculation exists that Nazi occult research, driven by figures like Heinrich Himmler, may have targeted the shaft for its rumored ancient power or technology. Symbols like swastikas found near the site link it to these dark chapters and fuel theories of secret expeditions searching for lost knowledge. This wartime connection blurs the line between myth, history, and modern intrigue. Ultimately, the variety of hypotheses reflects how the shaft defies simple explanation. From lost civilizations and sacred architecture to untamed geological wonders and wartime occultism, the possibilities are vast and deeply compelling. This range of theories keeps the mystery alive, as no single explanation yet commands full acceptance. The Kara Hora shaft remains a riddle, standing at the crossroads of science, history, and legend. An enigma inviting bold questions even as it withholds clear answers. What remains certain is that the shaft's astonishing design and the mysteries surrounding it continue to inspire wonder and a profound sense of the unknown. Tragic deaths and dark reputation. The exploration of the Kara Hora shaft has been shadowed by a series of tragic events that have deepened the site's aura of mystery. Artur Zhemikov, the pioneering speleologist whose curiosity first led to the shaft's modern discovery in 2011, died unexpectedly in 2015. His passing was seen by many colleagues as a significant loss to Russian speleology, cutting short the initial momentum of research into the enigmatic site. Zhemikov's untimely death sparked whispers of a curse or hidden dangers linked to the underground complex, adding an unsettling chapter to the shaft's story. Just 2 years later, in 2017, another key figure tied to Kara Hora also died. Vadim Chernobrov, founder of the Cosmopoloisk organization known for investigating Russia's anomalous phenomena, had led multiple expeditions inside the shaft.
We will go down and explore its secrets.
His sudden passing further intensified speculation about risks surrounding the site. Many who followed the mystery found it hard to ignore the increasing number of accidents, illnesses, and unexplained deaths affecting those connected with Kara Hora. Reports surfaced of several climbers and researchers experiencing injuries or ailments after their work in the Caucasus region. While official explanations ranged from the inherent dangers of cave exploration to unfortunate coincidences, the pattern of tragic outcomes fed the shaft's dark reputation. For locals and enthusiasts alike, the shadow of danger extended beyond the physical challenges of vertical descents and narrow passages. The idea emerged that the structure itself might carry some hidden threat. This reputation has fueled a chilling sense of unease often associated with legendary places. Mysterious deaths, especially around sites linked to ancient knowledge or unexplained phenomena, tend to amplify fear and fascination in equal parts. For Kara Hora, the mixture of physical peril and enigmatic history has cultivated a narrative where science, superstition, and tragedy intersect. The shaft has become not just an archaeological curiosity, but a site where respect and caution prevail. Despite the growing list of incidents, researchers continued their work, driven by the possibility that this shaft might reveal truths that could revolutionize our understanding of human history. Yet the loss of key figures inevitably slowed formal study. Concerns about safety and the shaft's unforgiving environment limited expeditions, leaving gaps in knowledge and perpetuating uncertainty. The uneasy blend of risk and reward hung heavily over every new attempt to unlock its secrets. This atmosphere of danger contrasted sharply with the awe inspired by the site's geometry and scale. It was a place where wonder met wariness, where ambition was shadowed by the unknown. Such tension is rare in modern exploratory science, where most risk is calculated and regulated. The Kara Hora shaft, in this way, embraced both the thrill of discovery and the intimidation of the unknown. At the same time, the lack of official institutional involvement contributed to the site's lingering mystique. Without government funding or university-led research, the shaft's investigations remained fragmented, reliant on small teams and enthusiasts willing to brave the dangers. This absence of formal attention created a vacuum filled by rumors, conspiracies, and sometimes outlandish claims that further fueled the shaft's eerie mythos. The tragedies and silence combined to make Kara Hora not just a cave, but a legend etched in the collective consciousness of those drawn to Moscow's remote mountains. The shaft became a symbol of the unknown's price, the peril that may come with unearthing secrets best left buried. This duality of fascination and fear continues to define the site's place in popular imagination. Yet beneath the darkness cast by these stories, new glimpses of the shaft's reality emerged through imagery, keeping the mystery alive in the public eye and offering visual proof of the structure's astonishing nature. Public fascination versus scientific silence. In recent years, the Kara Hora shaft has captivated global curiosity like few other enigmas. The release of detailed photographs by Russian artist Alexander Splashnov reignited debate, showing geometric stone blocks, polished walls, and joints so precise they appeared engineered rather than natural. These striking images spread rapidly across social media, inspiring endless speculation and analysis. To many enthusiasts, the photos seemed proof of artificial construction. Close-ups showed what looked like tool marks, stepped formations, and interlocking stones, suggesting a prehistoric engineering project. Online communities dissected each image, arguing over whether the shaft was the work of nature, humans, or something in between. Yet while public fascination surged, scientific engagement lagged. No official geological or archaeological studies, maps, or excavation records were released. The silence from academic institutions created a gap filled by independent researchers and amateur theorists. Some accused science of neglecting a potential breakthrough. Others warned that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. This vacuum allowed speculation and misinformation to flourish. Online discussions blurred fact and theory, turning Kara into a digital battleground between believers and skeptics. Each new image or rumor fueled fresh interpretations, further deepening the mystery. Scientists' restraint was not simple indifference, but caution. The site's dangers, lack of contextual artifacts, and logistical challenges made formal investigation difficult. Without verified data, mounting a credible expedition remained nearly impossible, and few were willing to stake reputations on unsubstantiated claims. Meanwhile, public intrigue only grew. Kara became a symbol of humanity's fascination with the unknown, a place where imagination filled the gaps left by evidence. It embodied the tension between wonder and doubt, myth and science. Suspended between physical reality and digital legend, the shaft endures as both mystery and mirror, reflecting our restless desire to confront the unexplained. Why scientists are terrified. The Kara shaft presents a profound scientific puzzle because it cannot be easily classified as natural or artificial. If man-made, it would push the history of advanced engineering back thousands of years, implying a civilization far more sophisticated than accepted. Such a discovery would upend established timelines, forcing experts to rethink human progress, technology, and even the limits of human potential. If natural, the shaft challenges geological understanding. No known processes create perfectly rectangular walls, massive fitted blocks, or polished stone surfaces deep underground. Erosion, tectonic shifts, and volcanic activity fail to explain such precision. This possibility suggests that Earth itself may harbor unknown forces, revealing dimensions of geology still beyond modern science. Both interpretations expose gaps in human knowledge. A constructed shaft implies a lost civilization. A natural one suggests unrecognized geological laws. Either outcome would redefine what we know about the planet and ourselves. Adding to the mystery is the absence of typical archaeological evidence. No tools, pottery, or habitation traces. The lack of artifacts suggests a purpose neither domestic nor easily explained, perhaps ceremonial or technological. Even more baffling is the scale. Enormous stones, perfectly fitted, as if moved with machinery far beyond ancient capabilities.
We have had some circumstantial dating.
Accepting such engineering would demand rewriting human history and acknowledging lost knowledge. If natural, equally daunting questions arise. What forces could carve such structures? And might similar formations lie undiscovered? The thought that entire categories of geological activity remain hidden is both thrilling and unsettling, underscoring the limits of current science. Ultimately, the Kara shaft stands as a symbol of humanity's confrontation with the unknown. Whether product of nature or forgotten genius, it exposes the fragility of our assumptions and reminds us that some mysteries resist explanation, challenging our confidence in what we think we know about the world. The Kara Hora shaft remains one of the most mysterious and awe-inspiring discoveries hidden deep in the Caucasus Mountains. Whether natural wonder or lost civilization, its secrets challenge our understanding and spark endless questions. If you enjoyed exploring this mystery with us, be sure to like and subscribe for more fascinating discoveries. What do you think lies at the bottom of the shaft? Let us know in the comments.